go. Let's try that again. Happy Monday. Getting closer to that end of July. So how was your weekend? I hope it was good. Ours was nice and quiet, basically. We didn't do too much outside. I have Simba at my legs, or up on my legs. I'll just talk about the cats real quick, and then I'm going to show you what I've been knitting on. I'll take a video of the crochet blanket that I'm doing the mosaic, and then I did finish that Knit Miss scarf, and I blocked it, and it's not perfect blocking, but it's done, except for I gotta weave in. There's like 2 ends I have to weave in, and then it can go in the pile of gift giving. So they are both doing better. Miss Nala, what we're discovering is, it's funny how when you adopt or rescue an animal that maybe was traumatized, that you don't realize the trauma until they start to get a little comfortable with you. So Nala's been hiding a lot more. She's still eating, she's still drinking, but she's discovered in here there is a shelf that she got behind my chair in the craft room here, and she discovered that, and which just meant I had to take everything off that shelf. And I got a comfortable little blanket for her, and I put my little English paper piecing pillow at the end, and that way she's got room to lay out and stuff. Simba still likes sitting up on top of the bookcase, as Mr. Jerry calls it, the perch. And so, but we don't see too much of her, and he is coming, he is home, basically. He is home. And I'll insert some pictures of him that Jerry took this weekend. He discovered the chair that's by the window over there and just fell in love with the chair. I had bought a perch window bed, and I put him in it because Jerry said, well, he tried putting him in it and he just jumped right out. So the next time I was out there, I picked him up and I just set him in it and started petting him and talking to him, and all of a sudden he just settled right in and was purring. So but we've also discovered, because we woke up Friday, well, Saturday morning early, I did anyways, to a little bit of disturbance in our bed. And Nala usually would come in the bedroom about 2 in the morning to say, hi, I'm up, and she would be on my side, and she's purring and cooing, and I'm petting her, and then she lays down by my side, and I kind of, what you doing, man? What you doing, man? The orange tabby cat likes to investigate and goes after stuff all the time. So when I kind of woke back up a little bit, Mr. Simba was sitting on her, and he was aggressively washing her head. And as soon as I said, hey, he jumped right off. And of course, she's just laying there like she, you know, this is not an uncommon thing. And so I laid there and I'm petting on her, and she's washing herself, she's grooming, and she got back, so she was laying down with her head, and all of a sudden he was at the foot of the bed by my feet, and his head popped up. I could see it, and he just arched his back as high as he can go, and I sat there and I went, what do you think you're doing? No. He sat right back down. He went over by Jerry. Jerry looked at all that stuff. That's called bullying or dominance. They're trying to get as big as they can to scare whatever. So, so she's been hiding. So with her being in this room, I know it's short and quick, but it's not. So with her being in this room, we can come in and sit in my chair and talk to her and touch her and pet her. And she talks to you. She purrs. She lets you touch her. So we started doing that. She also doesn't like, I don't know if it's men or just, I mean, Jerry can come in the room. What you doing, boy? Come here. Simba. Simba. What you doing? Is the window open? What? He is a definite climber, and he definitely is inquisitive. So we've noticed that if Jerry comes in here and sits down in the chair and talks to her, she's just a little bit nervous. And when I come in the room, then, you know, she just gets right up and she comes out and she's just purring and she lets me pet her and everything. So whenever Jerry's in here, I try to be in here, and then I'll pick her up. She'll let me pick her up, and then he'll come over and he'll talk to her and pet her and all that stuff. But last night, because we did that yesterday afternoon a lot, and the next thing I know, she came out to Jerry's room out there, and Jerry had bought these catnip little mice, and she found that and was playing with that and everything. Well, Mr. Simba doesn't like sharing toys, and he didn't like that. At first, he kind of, you know, she saw him and walked up to him and sniffed him, and he smelled her, and things were okay. And then the chair that he really liked, the mouse went over that way, and he acted like he wanted to play. You know, cats, you know, you can tell when they're going to play, and his head's just kind of bobbing and everything. But then that extra excitement, you could tell, changed, and I kind of said, Simba, and he stopped. So because she kind of froze what she was doing. But she kept coming back in this room, and then I would come in here and I'd say something, and she's flopping and rolling on the floor, and she's hollering and purring, and then she'd go right back out. So which we, you know, that's a good sign. And then she did go out in the kitchen, because we give them dry food and wet food, and every morning they were waking us up about 5 o'clock, and because the dishes were empty, and we filled them at 11:30. I don't think that, because Jerry was doing the feeding, I don't think that he was given enough for 2 cats. And so we weren't for sure who was eating what. We know he was eating the wet food, but he always turned his nose up at the dry. She went and she started eating the dry food, so that made us feel better, knowing that she's at least eating the dry food, because there was a half a cup in there at night, and usually by morning it was gone. And there was like a half a can of wet, and the majority of it was gone. Well, then what we discovered, or I did, the one time he went out there after she ate, and then he started eating the dry food, and then she went back out and she started eating the wet food. So so this morning Jerry got up before me because Mr. Simba decided at 5:30 this morning that he needed to play with his mouse in bed with us. And then, of course, Jerry started throwing it about the 3rd time, because the first 2 times Simba would jump off the bed and bring it back up to him. And Jerry then realized, I can't do this, because... So he said he couldn't find, when I got up, he had made some coffee, which I was flabbergasted. The man's not made coffee without asking. But he got up at 8 o'clock, and I got up at 8:30, only because Simba came back in with the mouse and decided, Mama, let's play. So I'm so used to getting up and there's quiet in the sunroom. I can do my devotions. I can have my coffee. And this morning I went out there and Jerry's out there and he's got the TV up and he's on his phone watching something, drinking some coffee. And he said, you know, he said Simba's up on his perch. Of course, I'm not thinking yet, not thinking what his perch is. And I'm thinking, no, he's not. I'm in the sunroom. He's not up there. He meant in here. He said, but he hadn't seen Nala yet. So I came back out and Simba had already jumped down. And I came in here and I didn't see her anyplace either. So I got my cup of coffee and I went out there in the sunroom to have my cup of coffee and then got up. I can't remember what because he was going to feed, because he said, should I give him more wet food? And I said, well, yeah, if there's no wet food there. And so we got up and he started doing that. And I came back in here to check to see if I could see her. And I couldn't see her. And as I'm standing in the little hallway there, he popped the top of the cat food can. And all of a sudden something blew by me. That was Miss Nala. So, but she ended up, once Jerry left the kitchen and he came out to his room, she went into the sunroom, and I think that's where she's been, because she's not in here. I think she is under the couch, and so he's not lifting the footrest up of the couch, because we want her to be in another safe haven. So, but anyways, so that's where we stand with the cats. He is more at home, but he's still a little jumpy every once in a while, but definitely more at home. And she's just going to take a lot longer. And we would never thought that. We'd have thought she was the one who would been the friendliest of them all. But she's definitely more comfortable with me than him. And Simba's just comfortable with everybody right now. So anyways, I got that Knitmas shawl done. It was a knit in July from Nautical Yarns, Nautical something by Miss Becky. I can't think of it right now, so I'm so sorry. But and I had ordered my yarn from Up North Yarns, and I had gotten, and I was going to weigh it. It required over 600 yards, and then it required 3 minis, and I got to pull the minis out so I can show you what was left over. So, and I was going to weigh out my second skein, because I did not use very much of that second skein. I had to wind it up just to finish the bind off and 2 rows. This is what I'm getting at. Simba, what you doing? Simba. Simba. This is what we're saying. Get an orange cat. So I still have quite a bit of this. I mean, I still have quite a bit of this, which is no big deal because I can make them into socks or something. But my minis that were 20 grams, I only have this much left of the pink, this much left of the mint, and this whole thing of the cantaloupe. So, Miss Jenny, I hope that you use up a little bit more than I did on this, because I keep them. My yardage, this was called Tequila Sunrise, and I had 462 yards, and she said 600. What you doing, mister? I keep moving stuff because, hey, because I got, you know, sewing stuff in here, and I keep moving stuff, and that's what he does. He goes up. I'm glad he's declawed, because he just goes up to the walls and he just starts digging for whatever reason. He has his tree stand that he goes out to, and he just digs and digs and digs, and he climbs everything and leaps and bounds. So I think he's getting ready to go to bed. Let's see if we can see him, because Jerry says that what he does, see, he's looking for Sissy. He will jump onto the chair arm, up onto the cabinet here, and then he jumps all the way up on the bookcase. And then to get down, he jumps from the top of the bookcase to the floor. I don't know. So anyways, this is what it looks like. Like I said, I still gotta get the right side here. I still have ends to weave, but this is what she looks like, and you can see I have ends there. So I mean, it is a good size. If I put it around me, it is a good size to wear around your neck and everything. And if I was to wear it behind me, see, this is what it would look like, just like this, just like that. So, but I just like knitting shawls. Do I wear them? Nope, I don't. But I love shawls. So it was just a garter stitch, which is this, and all of this here. And then you had your lace detail here, which wasn't hard. The first one here was like a knit in between the garters of the 3 different colors. And then you knitted all of this in garter stitch. Then you came up to the shell row and you used your minis on that. And this is the pink cantaloupe and the green, and that almost looks like an off-white to me. And then it ended up with the flip-flop on the bottom, which are just the X's, and I know mine is off. I think they are supposed to kind of go off, or they're supposed to be on top, but I know mine are off, which I don't care. Mine's just unique. But it gave that X. And then when you bound it off, it was that lace binding right there. I'm recording. You want to say, here? Okay. Did you want something? So he's out doing gutters. First time he's felt like doing anything. Hey babe. You probably can't hear. Mr. Simba jumped up in the window. So anyway, so I do have this done. So like I said, I will have to fold it up, and after I weave in the ends. But yeah, so with cats, then I have to make sure everything is tucked away. Right here, go ahead and call. He's on the floor.
Oh, he is?
Yeah. Over here.
Hey, Simba. Simba. Simba.
Just a second. Come here. Come here. Nope. So then I started a pair of socks, because I do Christmas knitting socks for all my family. So I have 11 pairs to do, and 3 are for grandkids, and the one grandson's foot, you know, he is going to be 18 September 1st. So I think his foot is done, but he's kind of like his dad's feet. So I know how to do that. But the other two, their feet are still growing. And I do know, so I'll wait until it gets closer to see what size of shoes they're in. But everybody else's feet are fine. So I'm doing them on DK weight, not the fingering. And this is from Yarnable Yarns, and I think it's called Sweetwater Taffy. It's supposed to be like purple with streaks in it. Making this one for our daughter. So I cast it on. I'm using the Crazy Lady, or Crazy Sock Lady, Kayla, her DK vanilla socks, and this is how far I've gotten. I'm using a US 3, so I did a knit 2, purl 2 for 10 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yep, 10. I did 15 on the leg, because in the fingering, the 10 rounds would equal like 20, and the 15 would equal about 30. So, and I got the heel flap and turn done right here, and I am now on the decreases. There's that heel turn. So it's going to be like this on your foot, so the foot part comes out like this. So I just started the decreases there, and then I can work on the foot to the toe. So that's what I've been doing. As far as the weight loss journey, the journey is still going good. I'm almost to, well, I had lost 35 pounds and then just gave up a little bit last winter, and so now I'm back down to, I was going the wrong way, got up to 20, lost, 29 pounds of that 35, so I gained that much back. And so I started getting a little bit more serious about it. So I am down almost 32 pounds. Last week, I think I lost 1.6, which was unusual for me. And I told you I was canceling my Weight Watcher subscription, and because I'm doing the Lose It, and I'm doing them both. Excuse me, but Weight Watchers had a deal that when I went to cancel it, they said, ask why, and I said, something different. I think there was like a other. And then they gave me all these options, and the one option was, I can't remember how much, but anyways, it kept giving me, changes. And finally they came to one, because everything, if I stayed with them, because right now I ran out, and because I didn't cancel it, it rolled over, and it was $24 a month. And so everything was like $19 for 6 months, and then there was one for $15 for 3 months, and I kept thinking there's got to be something better. And I kept going through the options, and the last option they gave me was for 12 months, $11, and I took that. So I am staying with Weight Watchers. They have always done me well. I just need to get out of my head. But I do like the Lose It app too, because it does give so much more things that I can look at, and like staying under like my carbs, my sugars, and all that stuff. So all my Weight Watcher peeps, I'm staying with Weight Watchers too. All my Lose It peeps, I'm staying with Lose It. So but I'm doing as best as I can, because Jerry's not on a diet, but he does the majority of the cooking, but he also is helping by, using better foods, like the leaner meats and stuff like that. or if I tell him how much, what was it? Like his scalloped potatoes and ham used to be 27 points for 1 cup. And I showed him that, and he says, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "No." And so I went through the ingredients, because he was telling me what he was using and how much. And that was for 1 person, 1 serving. And we went through everything. And, of course, butter was right up there, and the cheeses. And so he got so that he cut the cheeses in half, and it still tastes good. And he cut the butter way down, because the butter, you know, was just used for making the roux. And so but now, instead of buying the cheeses that were already shredded and stuff, we go to the Amish store. We buy their cheese in a cake style is what I call it, and he uses half of the amount. So it is now from 27, I gotta think what it was. Don't quote me on this, hold me to this, but I know it was under 20, not by much, but under 20. And y'all, 7 points is huge in this. So, but anyways, and I went out to the garden today and I picked some shelling peas. We don't have much, but it's the wrong time of year for peas because it's really warm, and we're supposed to get, I think, Wednesday and Thursday, we're supposed to be in the mid-90s, and the heat index is supposed to be in the hundreds, so they're not going to like that at all. But I have several that are ready to pick, but just not quite there. And once those are done, because I can see that the vines are starting to die on the bottom, and I pull those out when I can. But everything else is looking good. My Roma tomatoes, I thought they were, I've never grown tomatoes, so I don't know, but my Roma tomatoes, it said it should only get as high as 5 feet, and now it is like 6 foot tall, a couple of them. And I don't know if that's because on those plants, I started pruning them on the bottom so that I can get better airflow to keep the bugs out, or if they just, I've loved this weather and they're just shooting up. But I'm getting little, more little tomatoes on them. My pepper plants are starting to get flowers on them, which is a good sign. And his squash is looking good. Cauliflower, I got beautiful leaves. Cabbage, I got beautiful leaves. Some of them have some bug damage to them, but they're under the netting, and that the ones that have got the damage are close to the edge where it drapes over, and then it is stuck, the netting, in the ground, so that bugs, I didn't think, could get up, but somehow bugs get in, whatever. So, but everything like that looks good. So I just thought I would just come on while Jerry's outside and Simba's in the window, and take a break myself and just show you what I've been working on. So, but you're right, Simba. So thanks again, my friends, and I hope that your day is going well, and thank you for meeting up with me again and seeing what I've been up to and following along on the kitty journey, and we're getting there. So until we can meet up again, thanks for listening, my friends. And that's my cue to turn this off. He left.